All right, all right. You guys are live right now with the Shady Ass Tea with Sir and myself, Fine Assy Carrice. Listen,
Hey,
I feel like okay. Shout out to Tupac, okay? Because
it's poetic justice. Mm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout out to everybody that's listening live, whether you are on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on hot7025fm.com, or if you are on our app, or if you're listening on Alexa, thank you. And go ahead and share and tell your friends about us. Let them know that we are live right now on Hot 702.5. Okay.
Mm.
I'm sorry. For those of you who may have been listening live on the app or those other things, sorry, I just turned my mic on. It's been a night.
It has
Okay.
been. It's been a day and a night.
Listen, this Mercury retrograde, child, is
Is that what it is? Mercury's in retrograde. What does
yeah,
that mean?
and it's probably the worst one.
What does that
Um
mean?
so let me look it up real quick just so I can give you the breakdown. But
Okay,
I
because I be
I
feeling
know
like Mercury is always in retrograde for me.
it is, but I think that it like gives you different different types of things that you could experience,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So this is the word on the street about Mercury retrograde.
I'm listening.
So I guess it started on the 27th of September. It goes
Mm-hmm.
through October 18th. And probably hear like a number of people carrying on about like how everything is going wrong and it's all because of Mercury retrograde and all of those things.
Okay.
So let me get the hold on, let me see. Let me get the dealio. So it looks like you may have heard friends say, "Oh no, Mercury retrograde is coming through," right?
Right.
So the reason for like I guess some old friends are going to come back, some serious situations. I'm trying to pull this up. It won't let me be great though.
Old
um
friends, like old friends that you missed, or old
no,
friends that ain't
just
shit.
yeah, probably the ones that ain't
Um,
shit, ain't gonna be shit, their mama ain't shit, all of that.
can we
So
get? Can we get a? I don't want a Mercury. Can we get something else?
that's
Can we?
I can
Can we return the Mercury and get another planet? Can we get a Saturn?
it's not looking good on the Saturn
Sorry.
retrograde. I mean,
I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a
I
thing or
don't know if
not.
the Pluto one is a thing either. I don't I
Mm,
don't really I don't really
I don't
know.
know.
So it says what you. I'm trying to see. I know, like I had this up
It's
before.
because Mercury is in retrograde. Is why you can't find it. This is a. This is a moment. This is what. This is what it is. Is when things are just confused. Life is just. I figured it out. I just figured it out.
And then too, I think that there's like I don't know what have you been feeling? Because like for me, like I've been feeling like a sense of loneliness, like a lot
Hmm.
of it, and like remembering and people from my past,
Hmm.
that I love, not no
I don't
randoms.
think
You
I'm the
know
right
what
person to ask how I've been feeling.
I mean? Why not?
I just because I just don't. I don't think that it has anything to do with Mercury or Venus or Mars or Pluto or Jupiter. It's just
It's your internal things. I
mhm,
think that I think
it's some things else going on.
But I think that all of those things could probably very well be triggered by the weather, by
Hmm.
the sun, the
Hmm.
rays, those things could definitely be triggered by that.
Mm.
I don't know. But I know that I have been feeling some extra shit and I'm like, take it back. We're
Extra.
good.
I always
We're
feel
good.
extra.
What's good, Isaiah? How's it going?
Isaiah, is this a 58-1? What's 58-1? Or
Okay.
I need my
I
business.
guess we'll find out, right? I guess we'll
Right?
find out. So so yeah, that's the word on the Mercury
That's
retrograde.
that
So
on that.
it's definitely extra, and other people around me have been extra. I've just been trying to like keep to myself, and
But do you know anybody who's not extra though? Because everybody I've ever met that you know.
they're okay. So if I know them and their
Hmm.
extra has been on 10.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Because I don't
so
think you've ever introduced me to anybody that wasn't extra.
I mean, no, I'm not even talking about my friends, like all
Hmm.
people that I
Oh,
even call
just in general.
family. It could be anyone.
Okay.
Everything is heightened. Everything,
Got it.
senses are heightened,
Hmm.
emotions are heightened. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? People are making compulsive decisions. Like it's a lot going on out in the world. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, that's what's up. So,
Right. So, mm, I mean,
let's follow up on a couple of things before you get into it, though.
oh,
So,
okay.
what happened with your dad bod, situation? Did
Okay.
you?
So I submitted the it was an application I think I had to do in my picture, and I was
Hmm.
supposed to post my link to do the voting, and I didn't. I don't really have any excuse as to why I didn't, because I was like, oh, I'm 18. I'm like, well, if I post it, I'll probably be in the top 15. But I didn't post it, and so I don't. I think it expired.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a bummer. I was being a loser.
you probably would. You could have won how much?
$25,000 in a spread in men's health.
Mercury
Men's
retrograde
fitness.
made you lose twenty
Mercury
five
rec-
thousand dollars.
made me lose $25,000.
Ciao, ciao,
I
ciao.
was almost top 15 without posting. It was making that little body. I posted. They was feeling that body. Mm.
well, well, that's all I wanted to follow up on.
Okay.
What's the good word out here in these streets, Chow?
Okay. So people are. I watched the Dave Chappelle special this weekend, and I really, really, really super enjoyed the Dave Chappelle special. I really did.
Okay, as did I.
You know what I'm saying? Some people did not enjoy the special. They thought he was being transphobic and homophobic, though he said over and over again what he was trying to do. And then he said it right at the end what he was trying to do, but they was like, nah, he's still being transphobic and homophobic. He even told a whole story about a woman named Daphne.
The thing is that he was calling himself transphobic, right? He
Right.
was calling himself transphobic, but only because that's how they
Ironically, right.
refer. That was only
Right.
because they referenced him as transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
So he was being sarcastic, clearly.
Right.
And he didn't really say anything bad about trans people. He
He
was
didn't.
basic, and he basically specified that black people and trans people are kind of one and the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
you are not separating the black and the trans people. Like
Right.
y'all black, y'all trans. We all in this together type of
Right.
thing. And then he really the special was really about how they don't treat black people well. It really
That's
had nothing
exactly
to
what the
do with
special was about. It had nothing to do with trade.
nothing
It
to do
had
with
everything to
trans
do with
people.
that black people can get killed in this country and nothing happens.
Right.
That nobody's upset about us dying. Nobody's upset about people talking about us. But everybody's upset if you say something about a trans person, you say something about a gay person, and that's a problem. And and then there was a black coalition that I had never heard of. They said they wanted to get his special removed from Netflix. I didn't even write the name down. I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm.
It said like the African American Coalition. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm like, what is that?
I'm not in that. I'm not
I
in.
don't know
I'm
what
not
that
in it.
is.
And I'm
Right.
not in it.
I'm not.
I'm
No.
not trying to be in it. I'm not trying. I'm good.
Right. And I was just. It wasn't so. I thought it was super funny. Now it kind of threw me off right in the beginning when he said he was coming in the pastor's face. That kind of.
Wait. I'm trying to remember the line. I'm trying to remember the line.
He
And the thing
said
is, the whole thing was cracked me up. For it
it
made me
did.
feel
It was
so
very
much
funny.
better.
But like right in the like first 5 minutes, he was like he hasn't been this uncomfortable since he was being molested by a preacher.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember that. I remember.
now
He was like, "Oh, he told me to come to his face. What do you mean? He told me."
he kind of liked it, and I'm like, "Well, that'll wake you. If you weren't paying attention, you paying attention now."
Right.
He said if you wasn't listening to what he was saying, but then Damon Wayans, TMZ caught Damon Wayans at the airport, probably LAX, so that's where they always are. And most comedians are on Dave Chappelle's side, but Damon said he feels like this particular special freed the slaves, quote unquote, the comedic slaves from being politically correct,
Right.
and that comedians can now, will feel more comfortable now saying what they want to say, in this world. But I listen. I love a comedian that says the crazy shit because when I went back and watched Raw,
I haven't
if that
watched
show
that
came
in
out,
years.
man,
I haven't watched it as a full grown ass adult. So I
watch it
definitely
as a
need to
full grown
revisit
adult.
that. Yeah.
Especially in this, watch it in the context of now. Like don't watch it like it was the 80s. Watch it like it's 2021. You can be
Right.
like,
Right.
oh my, he said all the wrong stuff, and it's still hilarious.
Right.
And
Okay.
it is still
I'll have to
hilarious.
definitely check that out again. But I mean, I thought the special was great. Like
Hmm.
I like he. I don't think that. Okay, this is how I feel.
Okay.
You know how Karens just don't really listen through things, or they don't know they're Karens until
Mm,
after.
yes.
Like I felt
Yes.
like the trans people clearly didn't listen to
To
the
anything.
entire thing. they didn't listen. And all they heard was him saying he was transphobic when he
Right.
wasn't really saying he
He
was
wasn't
transphobic. He was saying
saying
that's
that.
what they said that he
Right.
was.
Right. Right.
But and so he the whole time he's not talking about trans people. He's talking about black people. And
Right.
I'm like, they didn't even hear that because who cares about black people?
Who can,
That's
and it
exactly
proves his point.
exactly.
This whole outrage proves his point that black people don't matter to anybody, and that if you upset a trans person and say anything about a trans person that may even sound a little bit cross, that everyone's up in an uproar. The story he told about the baby shooting a nigga in Walmart, I was dead on the floor. I'm like, he shot a nigga in Walmart, like shot him like dead in Walmart, in the Walmart.
Right.
Nothing happened to his career.
Right.
I was like, damn, that's a fact. You can look it up. You can Google it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a true story. But everybody was. I wasn't really that mad at what the baby about what he said about sucking dick in the parking lot. I just wasn't.
I don't think that I don't know if I was mad, but I do think that his comments were inappropriate. Like he definitely should
Mm-hmm.
have apologized, and he shouldn't have went on a
Mm-hmm.
whole rant. He should have just been like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, my bad. AIDS and gay people, I probably
Are
shouldn't have
not the
said that.
same. Right.
Right. I
Asian gay
probably
people
should have
aren't the
said
same.
it and
Right.
carried on with his life. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
because he drew it out, he's the one who created that problem for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, well, how do you feel about the LGBTQ community? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the community versus how black issues are addressed?
Are
So
handled.
like the yeah, so like LGBT, some shit comes up with the LGBTQ community, and I do want to let our listeners know wherever you're listening,
Mm-hmm.
that I have a whole rainbow tattooed on my arm. I'm definitely part of the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still confused as to why when things get addressed in the LGBTQ community, they get addressed
Mm-hmm.
rather swiftly. But
Right.
we still trying to make sure that no one can torture us,
Right. Right. Right.
or
Right.
be racist to us in this country when other people raise
Mm-hmm.
these issues and they get bills passed within
Right.
days.
Within days.
I'm really confused as to how this works.
I think my feelings on how people respond to the LGBTQ plus community versus how they respond to the black community is that I think it's easier for others who are not black to identify with being LGBTQ because they can it doesn't make them anything else but that, right? So you can be white and still be LGBTQ,
Or,
like
or do
but
you
you're
think
still
that
white.
or do you think that allows other people outside of being black the
Mhm.
opportunity to feel oppressed? Like they like,
Yeah,
oh, this is
I
my
do.
oppression, and I'm
Right.
gonna fight
I'm
for
gay
my
and like
rights.
it is not, and like I'm not saying that being trans is an easy thing or being in a part of LGBTQ is not there isn't some oppression that comes along inherently with that. But it's not as obvious as being like I can walk into a room and everyone's like, oh, he black. There are people who can walk into a room and they're like, they don't know you gay. They don't know you trans until you say something. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the oppression you feel or the oppression that they experience sometimes it has to be expressed first to actually experience. They have to like open the door and say, "Hey, you guys, this is who I am. So now it's time to oppress me." And so it almost feels like
And then
you
when
are
you oppress me, I'm going
right,
to use my white power and my bright privilege to make
exactly,
sure that this
because
gets
because the
addressed.
people that are offended are not like they're not talking about black gay people. They're not talking about black trans people. They're not defending them because black trans women are dying like crazy. But no
Right.
one's like, "Oh my God, black trans women are dying." They're like, "Oh, look, this white trans woman was offended by something this black man said." You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And so even in the LGBT community, there is still like racism against black people. They still don't care about black people. When we talk about gay people, even when you think about it in your head, when you say, "Oh, this gay person," the first thing you think, most people think, I don't know. I think I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for the world. I think about a white gay man. When you say gay, I think white gay man. Oh, the gay people are upset. I'm thinking a white man drinking an iced coffee, sitting at Starbucks with a little dog, pissed. I am not thinking about fucking Karamo. I'm not thinking about a black gay man. I'm just not.
Hmm.
But when we're talking about like style, when we're talking about trends, we're talking about black gay people, and they want to latch themselves onto that. But the oppression that black gay people feel, or the oppression that black people feel, period, They're like, nah, I want to distance myself from that.
Mhm.
That's how I feel.
I can agree.
Mm,
I think that those things needs to be addressed, and I think that that's what
mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle was attempting to. Well, he did what he
He
did
did.
address in his special, and
Yeah.
we're not. I'm not canceling Dave Chappelle
Hell no.
because y'all clearly didn't listen.
They,
I mean,
I was talking to my sister about this. I said I haven't watched a comedy special ever that made me feel something.
his
But
last one made me feel something too. I felt
mm-hmm,
good about it. You know what?
yeah,
Who else is Monroe? What's her Monroe Flame?
Flame Monroe. Yeah,
Flame Monroe.
mm-hmm.
She freaking
She's
did something for my
hilarious.
soul. When I watched her on the Tiffany Haddish We Ready special,
Mm-hmm,
I was like, yo, I immediately started following her on
mm-hmm,
Instagram because I was really
mm-hmm.
confused as to what was happening here because I'm telling you, Flame Monroe is like polar opposite. Every day is a different person. Okay, but I appreciate everything that that she announces when
Yeah,
she's doing
absolutely,
something. And
absolutely.
she did have some words about uh you know uh Dave, and that he's a comedian and he was telling
Mm-hmm.
jokes and it didn't offend her. I don't even
Right.
know what Monroe Flames or Flame Monroe's pronouns are. I'm not
I
sure.
don't. Yeah, I want to say they're she her. I really feel like they're she her, but
Okay. You know what? I
I
guess
might be
we
making that up.
I guess
I
we
might
need to.
absolutely entire. She might. It might be they them. It might be they zer. But I want to say they're she her. But I think that I'm gonna say she until we confirm that it's not she. I think that Flame to me is really impressive because she is a lot of times she's standing in opposition to what like the crowd is saying,
Oh, especially
and
with Lil Bootsy when she has
especially
whatever to say about Lil Bootsy. but
especially with Boosie.
yeah, so I'm here for it. Do you have
I
anything
am.
else on that topic?
I don't, but I since we're talking about Jesus and people being holy, people
Uh-uh.
being offended. So, Joel Osteen of the Lakewood Church here in Houston, right here in Houston, is paying back the $4.4 million in PPP loan money he received. I listen, Joel Osteen. Every time there's a tragedy, you can count on Joel Osteen to be a part of it. Every time there's something like when Hurricane Harvey
Or to
happened,
not be a part of it. Let me
or to
say
not be a
that.
part, he's going to be there's going to be news around Lakewood when there's a national tragedy. During Hurricane Harvey, he was not letting people into the church. He was like, "Oh no, we can't let them in here." Absolutely not.
Oh my god!
It's flooding.
I have always thought that he was hella creepy. Like
Yeah,
he blinks too much, first of all, which makes
he
me
does.
suspicious.
He
I'm like,
does.
dude, is that a cocaine behavior or are you like you're not telling the truth behavior? Like what? Like something's not
It can be
right
two things
about
can be
his
true.
energy. Something ain't right about his energy. So
Mm-hmm.
I never did really, and then I went to one of his events back when I was trying to do something with the church,
Mm-hmm.
and it was at Thomas and Mack here in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and the arena was packed,
Of course, it
but
was.
they had like this weird family church thingy, but it wasn't churchy. I
It's
was
not church.
I was
If
confused.
okay, so I've been to one of his services. I went with somebody I know, and when I got in there, I was I was raised in the church. You understand what I'm saying? Like hallelujah, thank you Jesus. Pass out. Ushers put the little towel over you. Fans with Martin Luther King on them. Like I grew up in church. Okay, choir, first service, second service. This was a show. This was a concert. This was an event. This was a motivational speaker at that situation, and I was not here for any of that. In the they did have a lot of like childcare. That was okay, but it just wasn't. He didn't ever say Jesus. He never said sin. He never said hallelujah. He never said like heaven, hell, like none of that. I'm like, he was just like, look, here's the offering. You guys are so great. Have a great day. And so I'm not, I was never here for Joel Osteen ever. Osteen, however you say is the man's name.
Yeah, it's just weird behavior. I'm sorry, y'all, and spill some shit over here. Why I always be spilling something? Like whenever something
Mercury's in
breaks at the
retrograde.
station, it's definitely me who broke it.
Well, it's your
Like
stuff
it's
to break.
so I'm gonna let you finish this while I clean this up
So
real quick.
So the $4.4 million that he got from the PPP loan. Now it was for businesses that have less than 300, that have less than 500 employees. So his business, though it's technically not a small business, has only 350 employees. So he would have qualified for it. He also qualified for the loan forgiveness, and people was looking to see if he was going to get that forgiveness for that $4.4 million. He did not get the forgiveness. He's paying it back. And he's saying that he didn't get any of the money. That the money he received was only to pay his 350 employees and have them keep full benefits. Which for me doesn't make any sense because I'm like, damn, you don't have $4.4 million to give to your employees. I knew he wasn't gonna get no money to them. So it was like either the government gives them money or they're gonna be broke. So he's like never ever gonna step in to help anybody. Like he's never going to do anything that's going to be even remotely Christ-like in any way, where he has to be sacrificial, where he has to put himself out. He's not
Why
going
do
to
you
do any
think
of
that
that
is? Why do you think that
because
is?
he is
Because I feel
not
like the shit's weird. Like you don't want to take care of the people. The
right.
doors of the church are never open.
Never open
The doors of the church are not open.
at
Okay,
all.
bottom line, and
Period.
don't be in a traumatic crisis in
Right.
the like you're no, we're not opening our doors. Those people probably have diseases or
Right.
something.
I would rather you drown to death than come up in here. That's what he said. I'd rather all you, your kids, your mama, your sick grandma, y'all can all float to hell before y'all come up in
Before
here.
y'all come up in this church.
Come up in here, stanking it up in here to be damned. I saw them videos of the Superdome. I don't want y'all up in here doing my church like that. You understand? Shitting all on the floors, and I'm not interested in none of that up in here because then I'm gonna have to pay somebody to clean the carpets.
I just think
So
it's not interesting.
he's I just think he's a fucking con artist, and
That's what
it's
that's what it is. He is. That's what I think. Allegedly,
mm-hmm,
that's what I think that he is. I think it's a con. Like everything is just. It doesn't.
mm-hmm,
And it's so phony. Like
yeah,
you know how you just know people's energy. And you be like, you know
yeah,
what, bro, you ain't real.
he ain't real.
I ain't
He is
never
a
thought it. I
motherfucking con
never thought it.
artist.
Yeah.
He is.
So
He saw all these
so he
books and all
so
that
he should
bullshit.
be giving. So he should be giving back his 4.4 million.
Yes.
What was he worried that people weren't going to pay the tithes and offerings? Because I'm
But
confused.
see, here's the thing: like they have, you can pay that shit online. I'm sure they have auto draft.
I'm sure he had
I'm
their ass set
positive
up.
they have auto draft tithing,
I am,
and so
I am
he
guaranteed her your money
he,
back.
has, he said he applied for the PPP loan because they had to shutter the churches and shut them down during COVID. I'm like, bro, you've been doing online services, you've been doing online offering. You're telling me that what you didn't want to do was cut your check short to have to pay nobody else. He was like, nah, what we gonna do is we're gonna leverage this. We're gonna get a little boost of funds so we can cover this expense so I can keep in all of the donations. People were upset because this is the first time in history that the government has like given money to churches. You know, because he don't have to pay no taxes.
I mean, this is definitely not the first time in history that the government has given
Well,
money to churches.
the first time in a very 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 long time that they've
I
given
mean,
money directly,
churches can get funding.
not like this.
I mean,
Not like
of
because this
course,
technically isn't a loan. This
we've
is a
never been in
grant.
this situation before, but yes.
Right, but and so people were upset that they're giving that they're because there's supposed to be a separation of church and state,
Uh,
right?
is it?
Listen, I'm just
Because
saying what's supposed
I
to
was just talking to
happen.
someone about this the other day. How Hillary Clinton came to the church, Bill Obama. You know
All
what I
of them came
mean?
right into the church.
Right into the church, sat on the front
Well,
row,
because
and
if
like,
you want black people to vote for you, you got to come to church.
do you? Because we don't separate those things.
Hmm?
Do they
Well,
endorse the
black
candidate at the
people
church?
love
Yes.
church. Hmm?
Yes. And then endorse the candidate at the church.
At the church in the pulpit, in the
Child,
pulpit.
listen. listen to
Y'all
me.
gonna go on out and vote for it. I'm not voting for this man. I don't know this man. Shoot,
Sorry to this man.
I'm sorry to this man. He didn't even drop no money in the plate when we walked around. He sat right in his spot. Got him sitting in the pulpit. Ain't that a
Uh,
mess?
listen. All I'm
Mm.
saying is that something fishy about Joel is gonna come out. What you do in the dark will come to light. I just think it's a little fishy. Hopefully, for his own sake, he retires before then. But
I'm
some
sure he has a
some just ain't.
retirement plan.
Something just isn't right about him and his blinking, child. I don't know. I never.
You know what? My least favorite thing about him is how tight. Like how do you have a face like his face is tight but it's loose? Like I'm not sure how he got all them lines on his face, but it's still like snatched tight. I don't. I'm trying to figure that out. Like what kind of facelift is that?
Long
Where you
story
get
short, Joel, run us our money back, okay?
please
And first of all, like, just close the church down if you're not going to take care of the people, okay? If this is just a reason for you to generate revenue and not even take care of the people in the
right,
community that
right.
want people to patronize your own place of business.
His church not even in a neighborhood where people need money. Like where his church
But it's in
is.
Houston.
It's in Houston. I used to work across the street from the church.
I feel like I drove past and someone was like, "Oh, that's
You
Joel Osteen's
Yeah,
church."
where it is in like West University. So these people are balling. Everybody around him in around the church is balling. Now people are driving across the city to come to this building because I think it used to be a stadium.
Yeah, an
I'm not from
arena.
Houston, so anybody listening that's from Houston, please don't be jumping on. Well, you know what? I don't know. I'm not from Houston. I was raised in Las Vegas, and we had the Thomas and Mack. Okay, I don't know about what the stadiums and stuff was out here until I got here.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
yeah,
he a mess, 100%.
well, let's close the case on him. Run us our money. Period.
Please, please, and thank you. I'm now your girl Wendy Williams.
She is not doing well, child. She
That
is
is an
not.
understatement.
You know some other tea?
Sis is they finally have a start date for her show for season
Mhm.
13, and I believe it's October 13th is when the originals are supposed to start airing according to her Instagram page. They're supposed to start airing. Astrodome. Thank you so much, OC Howard Burton II. I like that. I like all those words. So she's supposed to be starting originals on October 13th for season 13. It was originally supposed to start September 20th. She got COVID and it got pushed back to October 4th. So tomorrow, I guess tomorrow, not tomorrow. Today's the 12th? Yeah,
Correct.
so tomorrow on the 13th was when originals are supposed to start airing for
The
her show.
original. We're talking about the original shows for Wendy
No,
Williams.
like originals, like not repeats.
Right.
And so, but it won't be her. It will be guest hosts and panels because she's still out with health concerns to, her, what does she have? Hyperthyroidism, Graves' disease, some other stuff. That lymphedema. That's what she got to. That's why her legs all swollen. She don't wear heels no more. All of that, and I just feel really. I feel bad that she's going through this health crisis
Hmm.
after she went through that really public divorce.
Breakup. Hmm.
Yeah, but I feel like people are looking at her going, "That's what you get."
I'm not. I mean, I don't
And
know.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying there are people. There
You
are
see?
definitely people.
I
Yes.
think it's the people only people that would do that are the people who she outed based off of what her job was to do.
Mm-hmm.
The people that she had to talk about
Mm-hmm.
on air as part of her, that's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So those people are probably feeling some type of way about it. Who in particular, like Method Man's wife was feeling. She probably
Yeah.
felt.
How that's
Who
what people talking
knows? You
about
know
your
what?
health,
They might.
bitch.
Somebody might have put a spell on her child.
Because it kind of looks like she's been cursed.
Yeah.
Maybe it was her ex-husband's baby mama.
I don't think she's smart enough.
You got to be smart to be a witch.
You do, actually.
You ain't got to be smart to know a witch.
I mean, but I feel like for it to work, I feel like there has to be some sort of sync. Like, you know what I mean? I
Well,
don't
I mean,
know.
okay, so I know
But
witches.
but either way, it could have been anyone though. It could have been
Hmm.
anyone that she felt like, that they felt like she wronged them. And I mean, I
See,
like Wendy Williams. I
Mr. Burton
appreciate.
the second said karma is real, and
Correct.
she a bitch, a big old fat bitch.
Is that how you feel about Wendy?
Karma, I'm saying, is a big angry fat
Oh,
bitch.
okay. Because I was about to clutch my pearls, child. Like, why you gotta do Wendy
That's
like that? Like,
no, I
I
don't
mean,
feel like that
I
way about
appreciate
Wendy.
Wendy for, paving the way for a lot of these bloggers, a lot of,
Hmm.
risky content, a lot of,
Yeah,
where we're spilling tea and things like
yeah, for
that.
black,
You
especially for
know,
black people.
especially for black women, because she was the
Hmm.
first black, she was the first black shock jock, not even just female. She was the
Hmm.
first black shock jock. And I
Right.
think that that's important for a lot of people to understand, because it was
Yeah.
only, what's his name?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, right?
And then he had the black woman Robin on his show, but she was there as kind of like
Like
artwork.
a side, right?
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
like an accessory, like a bracelet. You
Right.
know, like
Right.
they weren't
Right.
featuring her.
So I think that it's important for people to acknowledge that Wendy Williams did pave the way
Right.
to have these types of conversations. And
Hmm.
even if we really think about the structure of things and drama
Hmm.
and, spilling tea and things like that, like, we probably wouldn't have had, these housewife shows, these love and hip hop shows, because that's
Hmm.
essentially what she was doing, was creating
A
and
culture.
talking about those conversations.
Right.
But then they said, okay, well, let's just put it on TV and let people see it instead. So,
Right.
I mean, I hope that she recovers.
Me
I
too.
don't think. Do I think that Wendy Williams goes home and she's like, I feel bad for outing these people?
Hmm.
Possibly in some situations. I
Yeah.
think she might feel that way.
I hope. I honestly, I'm gonna say
Do
this. I
you feel
hope.
bad for outing people when we break news?
Um. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I
Like,
feel like
name one
I
situation
think
in
we talked about
particular.
it on air. I think when we were talking about Kobe Bryant and being, I think the conversation we had specifically was, would I want to be the first person to report that story
Mhm.
from from a police officer or somebody on the scene
Oh yeah,
taking
we
pictures
did
and
talk
things like that.
about
But
that,
we talked about that on
and I
air,
was like, yes, if it's $30
and
million
so
dollars attached to it, we're definitely
and
releasing
so
the
like
news.
so
And
for
the thing is, now we don't even remember who leaked it first, right?
right.
Other than TMZ, it really wasn't TMZ; it
TNT.
was the other people who took the pictures.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're not talking about it anymore. We could have had our $30 million, sir, and just been like, all right,
I know, but okay. So if
we'll just lay low for a little while, you know.
so yeah, so I think that there's something she gets presented, and but what I do respect about her though is sometimes she doesn't report. There are some things that she gets that's information and she won't report it, or there's some
Mhm.
things that she gets and she never shares her sources, which I think is really commendable. As a journalist, to say, okay, I'm not going to tell who I heard this from, but this is reputable news, because I can't remember a thing she's ever reported that was inaccurate in any like legitimate way. Everything she reports. She's a journalist in that she does check her sources,
Right.
but I think that there are some things that she's like, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
And she reached a point where she doesn't have to.
And I
And
feel
I
like
think
because the tea could be juicier over at Wendy Williams. It could be, but
absolutely, absolutely could be.
I think that she, pulled back a little bit on some
Mm-hmm.
things. And either way, I just think that I hope that she recovers. I hope, or this could be a strategy for them to close out the show without
Mm-hmm.
her actually being canceled.
I think that maybe they're probably what they're. I think this is something they may like kind of like Wendy's friends, or like Wendy Williams, like something where her name is still attached to it,
I don't
but
think
she doesn't
so.
have to. I mean, she might. I don't. I think that right now she's still very, very committed to wanting to be the face in the head of that ship. And
I think the ship is gonna sail away, but
you think so?
I think it's gonna sail away with her waving and fading. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be a situation where um they're gonna cancel her. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna strategically plan to cancel herself. You know what I mean?
Mm, okay. I don't know.
And
I
this
think
could be the
maybe
season because I think that they only renewed for one season. So this could be
mm-hmm,
the season that they are
because
planning
she
to.
it cancels
Yeah,
season
yeah.
13, lucky number 13. Who knows?
I don't know.
Well wishes. Get well soon, Miss Williams.
Right, and
Um,
come through to the shady ass tea. Come through the hot 7025 FM. You
Absolutely.
got a space for anytime you want to come through, girl. Come
Anytime.
on.
Just come on, say hey, how you doing?
Yes.
All of that.
How
Bring it
you
through.
doing?
How you doing? So Tyga has been
Child.
accused and alleged,
Accused.
accused and alleged
Okay.
of beating up of domestic violence. He allegedly beat up his ex girlfriend Cameron Swanson. I don't know who Cameron Swanson is. She looks like one of them TikTok girls. She probably is one of them TikTok girls. I I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
I had no idea who she was.
I've no
Sorry to that woman.
I still don't know who she is.
She just looks like a regular white chick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I had no idea. Um, but she looked like she got a pretty bruised up eye.
She does look like she had a bruised up eye. So this is allegedly what happened. She got drunk, showed up to his house. He lets her in. An altercation ensues. The altercation becomes physical. She calls her mama in the LAPD. LAPD show up. They say they have their visible marks on her, according to what the LAPD says. Then she, in turn, posts pictures on her Instagram of her black eye and conversation between her and Tiger. This all happened Monday night. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a toxic relationship before.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I don't know if you've
Not
ever
when
known
somebody go put
anybody.
their hands on me, child.
I don't know if you've ever known anybody in a toxic relationship. I don't know if you've ever been so drunk you was like, you know what? I'm gonna see this bitch tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell this bitch how I feel right
I've never
now.
been drunk and did that. I've never been
Mm-hmm,
drunk, intoxicated,
mm-hmm.
no. But
Or you've ever been
definitely,
so angry that you're like, you
I've
know what?
definitely
This is
done it. But I've
this is the
never.
evening, right? Like you've been. I think we've all been in a position where we're like, you know what? Fuck that. I can't. You've been stewing about. You've been thinking about it all day long. Oh, look at her eye. We think about it all day long, and you go over to the motherfucking house, and you show up to where they at. And you're like, we gonna have this conversation right now. So that's what she did, and she was like, she hoped that with the picture she posted, she sad that it came to this, and that she had to stand up for herself. She never says like outright that he beat her up, right? She called the police and all that, and the police are saying that there were visible bruises, but there's not like a thing. He went to go talk to the police himself. He wasn't arrested. So
Well, he went to turn himself in,
yeah, he went to turn
right?
himself in. Right. He went to go speak to the police today. Um, People were saying, why did she go over there? She could have just stayed where she was at. What was he supposed to do if she came over there drunk, tripping? How do you feel about showing up somebody's house at 3? Because it was 3 o'clock in the morning when she showed up on Monday,
I
drunk.
mean, I have been in situations where people have randomly showed up in my house in the middle of the evening, and the
Mm-hmm.
or the wee hours of the morning.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I've
Right.
been in those situations. It didn't get to the point where it got any physical. I can have conversations and de-escalate situations, but
Right.
I don't know what drunk white girls are like. So
No,
that come into your house at 3 o'clock in the
ma'am.
morning.
Where'd you grow up? How much you don't know what drunk white girls are
I don't
like?
know what drunk. I don't know what drunk white girls are like that show up at your house at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. I'm like, because we've been around enough drunk white girls in
But I'm
in
saying like
Las Vegas, Nevada.
I've never had an encounter with a drunk. I take that. I take that back.
What are you saying on this?
I was I was talking.
Uh
I was talking about.
uh-uh.
I was talking about like relationship situations, but never mind.
Uh-huh. I was like, we not finna. You didn't block it out. You didn't block the drunk white girls out of your mind. You was like, that was a long time ago.
Only
I
because
was a different person then.
I didn't smash, so we are carrying on.
So yeah. So He is. The report is for felony domestic abuse. I think I don't listen. I am not. We talk about this. We've talked about this several times. We talk about this all the time. I am not pro domestic violence. I am not pro beat the ladies up. Okay. I am also not pro women just punching on men and slapping men and hitting men and be like, you shouldn't hit me. I'm a woman. Like you
I
should
agree.
keep your hands to yourself.
I agree.
Like you shouldn't, because everybody is not conditioned to deal with being physically assaulted and not responding physically. And so I don't know what happened. I don't think he should have beat her up to whatever. But
I think that no one there, you shouldn't put your hands on anyone. Okay.
right,
And I do think it's a little bit ironic that, sometimes women will push, hit, do all types of things to men and don't
right,
expect to get hit in return, which I don't think is a fair deal. Okay. But
right.
in this situation, essentially you're saying she never said he physically hurt her.
No, she didn't say. She said she had to defend herself. But you
So
show
she
like
did
how are
it.
you defending yourself when you show up to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Listen, the thing is, when I saw this picture,
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, I said,
The self,
you know what this reminds me of? I was like, this
thin line
reminds
between
me.
love and hate.
Yes, because I had just heard her, what is her name?
Lynn Whitfield.
Lynn Whitfield. I just heard her talk
Mm-hmm.
about the scene where
She hit herself with
she hit
oranges with
herself with
that
the
stocking.
oranges. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just heard her talk about that and how she was saying Martin, encouraged her to do it because
Mm-hmm.
the oranges don't hurt, but they will bruise. So
Mm-hmm.
when I saw this picture of her, that's what I thought.
He thought
I'm
Lynn thought
not
she was
saying,
crazy.
I'm not
Okay,
saying.
so if you show up to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, okay, drunk, I'm already thinking, oh, what is about to happen. Now, I might still let you in because that's I'm still a little toxic. I'm still trying to detox, right? So I might still
Your ass will
let
be
you in.
sleeping on the front doorstep. Like, I
I
am
might
not
still
opening the
let you in the
door.
building, okay? Especially if my kids are not here, I might still let you in the building. And so you come in the building, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're having this conversation, and it gets escalated. It escalates, and it gets physical. You start putting your hands on me. I might have to throw you out the building, right? So I might have to pick you up, carry you out, squeeze you tight, get you out of my house because I don't want you in here anymore. I don't know if he threw her out and she hit her head on the ground. I don't know if he socked her in the face. I don't know if he drug her out of the house and she was I don't know what happened, and there's no report that's been released that says these are the details of the altercation.
Mhm.
I think that there are people like, well, he put his hands on a woman and he should just be locked up right away. I don't agree
It's
with that.
hearsay. Yeah,
It's
it's hearsay.
hearsay.
And due process is
Yeah,
definitely, and he should get his due process.
he
The thing is
should.
that I guess we'll figure out what's really
Just because he
happening
got
in
those
post.
shitty braids does not mean he does not deserve due process. Those braids do not determine what his legal representation should be.
Well, he definitely brought his legal representation to the event. Okay, to him turning in himself at the police station. He brought
Right.
about 4 or 5 attorneys with him, matter of fact. But I just think that whatever happens with that situation, I don't know. Tiger been in the news quite a bit lately, so we can
He
close the case on
has.
him. Hopefully, he gets his due process and not
Mhm.
be prosecuted because it's a white woman, and we'll go from there.
I hope not. Speaking of white women and black
Okay.
people,
Okay.
okay. So Nicki Minaj, who is not a white woman, okay, was in a video with a white woman. Her name was it Jay Nelson? Used to be in a group called Little Mix. I've never heard a single Little Mix song in my life. Okay, I've never heard a song they've ever sang. I didn't even know there was a group until maybe a year ago. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But this woman, I watched the video. The video is called Boys, and it has the Bad Boys for Life sample. We Bad Boys for Life, that sample, right?
Wait, is
On the
that her
song.
name?
I think it's Jay Nelson. Jesse Nelson, I'm sorry. Jesse Nelson. Jesy. Because that's the cute way to spell
Is that
Jesse,
her
I guess.
name? But she
Her
goes
name
by
is
a different
Jesse
name.
Nelson.
She goes by a different name. I just
It's
watched.
probably a black name.
I'm gonna
In
I'm gonna
the
see if we can get the before picture of her real quick so we can
the
explain to
young
y'all what the
lady that's
hell.
in the video, and she looked like Adrienne Bailon. She looked like she looked like
Child.
every light skin. She looked like Tinashe. She looked like Janae Aiko. She is tanned to be tanned to be tanned. Then she got the curly weave. She got the long. She is definitely giving blackface.
Blackfish.
She's giving
Blackfish.
blackfish. You know what I'm saying?
Blackface. All of
She's
that.
giving blackface tease the entire time. Okay. Nicki Minaj says, "Well, why your favorite reality stars and this person, that person, has pumped up lips and tan skin, and y'all not saying nothing about that."
Who?
Listen,
Who? Who is
to
she
me, it doesn't
talking
matter
about?
it doesn't matter who she's talking about. It doesn't change the fact that this lady is definitely trying to do. She is doing a fucking minstrel act. It does not. It does not change that fact. Like, I'm
The
not.
other facts are this: is that
Mm-hmm,
while I tried to pull up a picture of her white self,
mm-hmm.
there only her black self, only her
Only
black
her black
self was
self is
showing
stuff.
up.
She's giving us Rachel Dolezal tease 2020. She's Rachel Dolezal
Ooh,
2021. Okay,
child.
that's what she's like. Listen, I am transracial. This is who I am as a person. Like, she's giving that tease 2021, and I'm not interested. The song is whack. Period. I watched the video. I watched all 4 minutes and whatever seconds of the video. Diddy is in the video. Also, people are mad at Nicki Minaj. They say she was defending the lady. I don't think Nicki was defending the lady. She was saying y'all gonna be mad at her, be mad at everybody else. But ain't nobody mad at anybody saying nothing
Why?
about Diddy
Why is
being in the
she
video.
worried? Why is she worried about
Cause she
everyone
in the
else?
video. Nicki Minaj in the video.
Oh, oh, she needs the streams. Okay,
Right.
now we're getting down to it.
Right.
Okay,
She's like, everybody shut the fuck up and stream this shit. Now, she brought the lady on her live. They talked for an hour. I watched about 5 minutes of the live because the filters were killing me. The lady's black face and black scent were I couldn't get into. I wasn't feeling the vibes. I wasn't here for that energy.
I am really trying to figure out where the white pictures of this lady that like it's literally like they have been
You may have to look
removed.
up Little Mix.
Is that what her name was before?
Little Mix is the name of the group she was in,
Okay.
and so
Child.
there may be pictures of her when she was white.
She done browned herself all the way
she
up.
she
Okay.
is she looked like she just got pulled right out of the oven. They was like, oh, perfect. Said she been in the oven on 350 for 45 minutes till it was golden brown. The toothpick came out clean. Like, she is completely tanned, completely cooked, completely baked. Like, it's not. And then she's
It was the
giving.
curly hair for me, child. I
And then
was
she's like,
like,
She giving all of this action in the video, sitting on the roof. I'm like, ma'am, she giving 702. She giving 3LW. She's giving black. She's giving a 702. And then the video is, because it's Bad Boys. They're giving a lot of Bad Boy like references. Look at this lady. Look at her.
oh, hold on, because what I did. Okay, there we go.
Look at her.
What am I?
Jessie with one S.
Okay, wait 1 second, because I don't know what
Cause
I'm
she,
doing
cause
here.
she got it. She's trying to be cute. Jessie with one S. Jessy.
No, that was her picture. I
No,
got
I
the
know.
picture. I just went to the wrong screen by mistake.
Mm-hmm. So I listen. When I saw the video, I watched the video. Is that her before?
Yes,
That's her before. Okay.
that's her before. I'm going to show
Her
you guys an
before.
after. Stand
Okay.
by. Okay.
X Factor
Just so you can see the
2011.
before, I'm going to show y'all the after, child. Y'all going to be like, what in the feezy? Okay.
I don't know what she was giving in that first one. Very, country, down home country western. Giving a little Carrie Underwood, a little a little Tori Kelly tease. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was giving. That's what she was trying to give in that first one.
I'm trying to pull up
And
one of the
the clips from the
scenes from her,
video.
or at least her photos from the
Oh
video.
my god! I think it was her being the same color as these walls for me. Like, y'all can't tell because the lighting is like, but these walls are tan. She was beige, not even beige. Like, she was like, you know what I'm going to be today? I'm going to be deep, like almost caramel color. She's a little lighter than you in the video. And it was the curly. It was
I'm gonna show y'all a
she had
series of
she had the
photos.
bandana
Hold on.
on.
We go to a series of photos before we
because it was a whole hot ass mess. I wasn't, and then I wasn't. I also was not here for Nikki's verse on the song.
let's see what we got here. This was not
Let's
will
see.
not let me be great today.
It's
So
not. Actually, you know what? I should have screenshotted the video. I should have been like, Psh, this is a mess. On top of this damn, you just pull up the video. You should just pull up the video. Look at this lady. Look at her. Look at her. You know who else she's giving me? What's that white girl that was in that Diddy group?
oh,
Um,
Ariana. What's not Ariana?
mm-mm.
Adriana,
Adrian. Yeah,
Adrian.
Adrian. Whatever
What's her
her,
name?
whatever her name is. That. Very that. Very. I used to be a white girl. Now I'm a whatever the hell she is at
A
this
white
point.
girl
A white girl.
that has tanned her skin and added some curly weave and so on and so forth. Y'all
Right.
can Google and
Very
see it on
that.
your own. We'll close the case on that. But yeah, that's a lot.
It is too
Our
much.
cuppeth overfloweth today with the tea, and and it
It.
overfloweth so much that we are over our time. So,
Aw.
sir, you have
Hey,
anything you
Dad.
want to tell the people before we check out?
Yes, I love you guys very much. Just follow me on Instagram at the Sir Armstrong, on Facebook at Sir Armstrong, and I will see you every time we say see you next Tuesday. Now I think about the bad word because see
What?
you next Tuesday is CUNT. See you next Tuesday,
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
and I'm not that.
It's just like you're calling everyone else that. It's okay. But
Bye, you
listen,
guys.
you can also follow me on every single social media platform at eCarice. That's ECARRICE. You can catch me tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here on hot7025fm.com, on our app, on Alexa, on whatever, however you
Or
listen.
whatever. Hey
You can hit
Alexa,
us up.
play Hot 702.5.
Right. And you can hit us up. I'll be on the Morning Wood with 360 the Poet and with Miss Angie T, our special guest host. She will be on here as well. And that's it. That's all. Y'all, listen, we love y'all. I cannot wait to get here in the morning. I cannot wait to get home so I can go to sleep so that I can wake up and then get
Mm-hmm.
here in the morning.
Amen.
just, just like that. Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Shady Ass Tea each and every Tuesday. And guess what, sir?
What?
You got to say it.
What am I supposed to
See you
say?
next Tuesday.
See you next. See you next Tuesday.
Bye, y'all.